Technologic, technologic. Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, crash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, flip it, crank it.
Kassem, phone is yours. Hello, hello everyone. Hello, Mohamed. We are so pleased to be with you today to talk about maintenance as a level of excellence for pharmaceutical industry, and more especially inside the Servier group.
Thank you, Christophe. Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here with you today. Also, in our presentation, we will share with you how we use the framework that we call SEMS in order to turn our vision into operational results.
So, what are we talking about when we talk about asset performance management? Everything is summarized on this U curve. On the y-axis, you have the cost, and on the x1, you have the maintenance effort. The red one is representing the cost of the damage, while the blue one is representing the cost of the preventive one. So, all the objective of the asset management is to optimize the balance between the risk you are able to take and the money you are able to spend. And all the technology we are talking about IoT, about predictive maintenance, about AI, has the same objective, optimizing this balance.
So it's nice theory, Christophe, but it's not very easy to apply in reality. Sometimes people are busy, they have some resistance of change. So how we can achieve that?
That's why this mantra for Henry Ford is so important. We cannot build something new without solid foundation. So, before deep dive in our maintenance topic, please, Mohamed, give us some figures about the Servier group.
Okay, so just a quick introduction about Servier. So we are international pharmaceutical company governed by non-profit organization. With a revenue of 6 billion euros, Servier is considered like the second largest pharmaceutical company in France and ranked 34th worldwide. We have more than 22,000 employees working for Servier every day for serving the patient needs. And actually in Servier, we are not only manufacturing the drug products, but we are also manufacturing the drug substances. So actually, 97% of the drug substances that we use in our branded products are manufactured within our facilities in Europe. Also, Servier is having a special focus, a big focus on the R&D. We have more than 70 collaboration and scientific partnership, and we invest 20% of the revenue of our branded product on the R&D activities. Just to focus a little bit on our portfolio, actually 25% of the revenue of Servier, 55% of the turnover of Servier is coming from the cardiometabolism and venous disease products, while 24% are coming from generics and 24% coming from the oncology, which was newly introduced to our portfolio a few years ago.
And to produce all this medicine, we have 10 factories all over the world on the 5 continents, and be sure that each of our guys in maintenance or in production are really focused on their daily activity because they know beside each of them there is a patient. So please, Mohamed, can you speak about our figures and what are our key objectives for our maintenance topic?
Okay. So actually, to define our strategic objectives in the engineering and maintenance department, we have asked ourselves 3 main questions. The first one is, what is the value of our asset park? What is the size of our team? And how much we invest and we spend every year for maintaining our assets in the good level? So actually, our asset park has a value of almost 900 million euros divided between the 2 chemical sites and the 8 pharmaceutical sites, and we have about 470 employees in our engineering and maintenance as a permanent ones, in addition to the temporary ones. And every year we spend about 200 million euro just to maintain our assets in the good level. These 200 euros, half of this amount is mainly dedicated for the CapEx, mainly tackling the obsolescence issues, and to be sure that we are having continuous production all over the time. But also we have a big spend related to the spare parts, to the energy, and so on. So what are our objectives? Actually, our objectives were to decrease the amount that we spend every year by 10%. This is number one. It means we have to find some initiatives in order to optimize our spare parts, to decrease the downtime, to optimize our energy consumption, and so on. Second objective was to increase the overall efficiency of our equipment by 6%. It means we have to focus on decreasing the breakdowns that we have on our equipment. And the final one is to be 100% complying to all GXP rules, local regulations, and safety guidelines. Finally, to assure that we have safety for our product, our patient, our people, and our assets.
So what is really important is compliance, optimizing the cost, and increase the reliability. So how be able to build this beautiful house of excellence? How be able at the same time to improve safety, be sustainable, develop talent, optimizing cost, increase reliability, all of them in the same time? That's why we have developed our system called SEMS, based on 4 pillars, and be able to support 16 initiatives like MRO, energy saving, KPI, predictive maintenance, and so on. So please, Mohamed, can you explain us what is SEMS?
Yes, so actually SEMS is a framework that we have identified in order to turn all our objectives into actionable results. So every project or initiative that we have created, we put it under one of those pillars. So what are those pillars? The first one is the standards. So we wanted to ensure that we have in place standardized processes, procedures, guidelines, such as maintenance processes, project management process, safety guidelines, and so on. You are not alone, Pierre. We also have these fragmented standards, and we had to find a way really to standardize all of these processes. The idea at the end is to ensure that we are having at least the minimum mandatory requirement everywhere in our sites to be sure that we are working in a standardized way. The second pillar is our network. Network, it means our engineering and maintenance team, whether in the corporate or in the sites. But not only that, also our stakeholders. So our focus here in this pillar was to establish the operating model within our department and the collaboration model with other streams in the industry. So our focus here was really to start to identify what are the roles and responsibility of engineering and maintenance in the corp and also on the sites. What are the way of working, how the organization should look at the corp, how the organization should look on the site. Also, we have focused on how to use the talents that we have in the sites to share their experience and their knowledge and get the benefit for all the other sites to learn from it. The third pillar, which was digital, where we wanted to use the technology, but not just for the sake of technology, but for the sake to answer our business need. So together with other streams in the industry, we have developed a roadmap to exactly put in place the tools that we need to have in order to streamline our process, to assure better sustainability, to also help us to reduce our costs. So we have put in place a lot of projects like predictive maintenance, IoT platforms, OE tracking, and so on. The final pillar is excellence. So in this pillar, we wanted to have the global view of the full asset management. So it means the asset life cycle starts when we make the design and end when decommission the asset. So what are the key performance indicators that we wanted to put in place to have this overview on the assets? So it means when we have a project, we have identified some KPIs that we need to focus on it to be sure that we are spending our CapEx properly. When the asset is in operation, we want also to have the global view of how the asset is behaving. Do we need to optimize something or not? And also to put also another view on the obsolescence, how we are managing our obsolescence, how we are sure that we are acting proactively before we're having the asset totally out of service.
So this is our roadmap. We have started journey in 2022. We have put a lot of energy on assessment of the site and also many energy to build the community, to create a community and to put in place the necessary tools like OE tracking, CMMS. And actually, we are working on digital work instruction and standardize our KPI at the group level. We are actively working on IoT platform. It is our next objective. We have just started to be able to manage predictive maintenance and energy saving and to take advantage of AI and new organization to go through full dynamic organization 5.0.
Okay, so what was our baseline or our start? I think again, Pierre, we have done the same. So we started with a maturity assessment with all of our sites. The idea that we wanted to know exactly what is the current situation at each of our sites. So this maturity assessment have tackled exactly the 4 pillars that we have identified. So we wanted to know what kind of standards that we have on the sites. How do they manage the maintenance process? How do they manage the spare parts? What are the KPIs that they are using on the sites? What is a CMMS? Imagine we were just 10 factories and using 4 different type of CMMSs in our factories. I don't know. So, and finally, even if the final results that we have in this maturity assessment was even below the target, but what have surprised us that we found a lot of good initiatives and standards on the sites. So the only thing that this kind of standard and best practices were just confined at individual sites and not shared everywhere. So it was exactly like that we have the battery and we have the lamp, but we don't have light because there were some wires are missed, like the way of working, the standardization, the operating model, and so on.
So to work concretely with our community, we have launched a concrete project on KPI depending of the different pillar of our SEMS, and we have also opened the job with external counterpart. It's very important to work with purchasing department, supply chain, HR, because if you work alone, you are doing nothing. So a lot of energy to be able to create the community, work together, share the vision, share best practice, and it has taken a lot of energy for us. So how go from the theory to the real life? How we'll be able to create a unified hierarchy in our full asset park?
Standardize the way of working in the CMMS, functional location, spare parts codification, and so on.
How we'll be able to define a common set of KPI?
Deploying a standardized OEE tracking tool all over our sites.
And how we'll be able to create a common set of dashboard, because you present standardized, but it's very complicated to harmonize everything in all the sites. So I would like to discuss about that with you.
So creation of a centralized cloud database that collect information from different digital platform and being able to build a common data model that we can use it for KPI monitoring.
So let's zoom in. Can you talk us about Cairo?
Yes, so I will share with you quickly 2 initiatives that we had in our site in Cairo. Actually, our colleagues in Cairo have developed their OEE tracking system, which is able to track functional breakdowns, organizational breakdowns, and even technical breakdowns. And this tool was connected to a dynamic dashboard that gave you a detailed view in each and single cause of stoppages of the line. And just by analyzing these kind of breakdowns and identifying the bad actors in each line, they were able to increase the OEE of their lines by 18%. Maybe we can discuss it later on after the presentation. But the other initiative was about the energy management. So what they have done also, that they have installed different kind of power meters, flow meters everywhere in the site, just to detect the electricity consumption, water consumption, steam, gas, compressed air, and so on. And by analyzing all of these data, because all these meters are connected to a centralized software, so this software is able to give them some analytics, some graphs, and so on, to understand exactly how the assets are behaving, how the energy consumption. They were able to identify the areas which have a significant energy use. And just by tackling these areas, by putting in place some energy projects to decrease the energy consumption, in 4 years they were able to decrease the overall energy consumption of the site by 21%. So now let's go to our site in Uril.
Yes. So Uril is a major site in France. It is a chemical one. It is the most important. And a lot of job has been done between engineering and production to increase the level of production, and especially on the parent of Uril, we see our new product. But the best person to talk of this is Carol, the site manager of the site.
Let's have a quick call with her. The sound is not working, I think.
You have to increase the sound.
Hello, everyone. I am very pleased to share with you the highlights of our main achievement for 2025. We have made incredible improvements on one of our main lines thanks to the reliability work done by our engineering and maintenance department. Imagine a production line that operates like a perfectly orchestrated symphony. That's exactly what we have achieved with our four-step action plan with OEE at the driver.
By eliminating weak points, we have transformed our cleaning process into true Formula One pit stops, reducing times and frequencies to maximize equipment availability. Our technicians have become maintenance superheroes, able to react faster and with formidable efficiency. By adapting our preventive measures to the process conditions, we have reduced the mechanical failure rates by 60%. Fewer calls, more production. By upgrading our equipment, we have improved process yields, achieving a 5% increase in productivity and energy saving.
And the results? Hold on tight. Thanks to these actions, we have achieved a 22% increase in productivity compared to our initial target. Yes, you heard that right, 22% more. And this reliability is not only a temporary success, but it is also a sustainable solution that ensures the continuity and safety of our active ingredient productions.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you, Carol. So what have we already achieved? We have worked on this set of KPI, be able to benchmark the site between one and then, and we are able to compare on the same drawing the reliability of each site relative to the cost, and the cost is divided by the asset park value to be able to compare. So we are able to identify the major area of improvement and to focus our action. So what we have already achieved, we have worked on our end-to-end process standardization. We are working on the deployment of a common and corporate CMMS with standard digital work instruction. We deploy our OE tracking tool in all the sites. And we have started also to work on IoT initiative to be able to put in place predictive maintenance.
So the challenges were, with all the initiatives that we want to put in place, of course, the budget resources is the first challenge that we had. The second one is how to break the silos, how to work all together with other streams to have same vision, to align our visions all together. And the third one is to ensure that we are having the engagement of the team. So actually, if we start this journey again, what we will do differently, that we will ensure an early thinking out of the E&M silo or engineering and maintenance box. So next time we will assure an early engagement with all other streams that working with us, quality, IT, supply chain, and so on. Then also we will ensure that we have a better engagement from the team, because sometimes we just let the people work in their own projects without giving them the global picture. So when they have the global picture, they understand what is exactly they are doing to answer the old vision of the department. And of course, to get alignment with the IT department, because there is a lot of gray area between IT and OT. I think we all have the same issue. So having a kind of phrase from the beginning will make things more clear and more easy while we are moving forward.
So just one more thing. Never forget the maintenance if you do not want to hear about it.
But if you want to hear about us, this is our contact details. We will be very happy to discuss with you and to share with you. Special thanks to our colleague Grégoire who helped us to develop this presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Merci.
Well done. Thank you very much. We have a few minutes for some Q&A. Who would like to go first?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's now 2 years, and we still have 3 years to 3 to 4 years to finish everything. Yes. Thank you.
You have to understand that the initial situation is very heterogeneous. Nothing is working. CMMS are different, standards are not the same. The granulometry of asset park is not the same between production and supply chain. Codification is not aligned. People are not understanding themselves between purchasing department, DDSI, they don't have the same governance. So in fact, it's nothing is working. So it's a very hard job to many meetings, to align, to work together, to be able to put in place CMS, everything we have explained, but it takes a lot of time. So yes, we will give it time.
Yeah.
After starting up, what was the key point when you thought, okay, now it's running? What was the main trigger change?
Yeah, I think the alignment with everyone. Because
Yes.
in the beginning, when we were working really as a standalone department, things were not very clear for everyone, and we had a lot of resistance sometimes, you know. So I think the key point is to really breaking the silos and to start to collaborating with everyone. When everything is put together, it makes more sense for everyone, you know. So I think this was the key point where we can, when we say, okay, it is going to work now.
Because we are both coming from operational side.
Yes.
And when you have to a core position, everything seems to be real slow. And our managers say you have to take 40% of your time to align stakeholder, only 60% on relevant ideas. So for us, it's a bit frustration, but we are adapting.
Yes.
So it also sounds like you had a lot of cleanup exercises to do. How did, at least in where we've seen from it, requires a huge amount of resources to do cleanup in CMS systems. How did you get around that?
For CMS, I think it's
To
you.
clean up CMMS, we have a lot of resources to do that. Yes, it's clear. In fact, we take the database, we create core model, we clean up the data, but we have 1 or 2 engineers just only to just clean the data, in fact, just to be able to standardize, put it in place, and be able to provide a beginning of set of KPI. Here we have shown a synthesis, but to be able to do it from remote data coming from all the sites, I think it will take two more years, because CMMS are not in place. It's not standardized. We have to understand a lot of things. So actually, we have only half of the park that is with the CMMS. So you imagine. So we have to put new CMMS, create the rule, and so on. But for the global vision, it's okay. To be able to remote, yet it will take 1 or 2 years more, I think so.
Speaking of the CMMS, like for which system did you choose or which
Okay, so yeah, in the beginning we were working with differences. We were working with Maximo, with GD Edward, with Maintenance Pro, and so on. So what are we going to have right now? We will standardize it in 2 steps. The first step, 5 of our sites will use SAP for HANA. The remaining sites will still use GD Edward for a while, and then when we finish these 5 sites, the others will also move to SAP for HANA.
But with the same standard.
Exactly. Exactly. So it means, to continue, it means everything in GD Edward will have the same way of working like what we are going to have in SAP for HANA. So it means the way of working is the same, the hierarchy of assets is the same, codification of a spare part is the same, but it's just different software. But later on, everyone will work with SAP for HANA. For the 5 sites, we have a plan up to 2029, and then after that, we will start to import the remaining sites. Yes, you're welcome.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
so good question.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Actually, this is what we are doing right now is the operating model project. You know, what we are doing right now, we do two things. First of all, we reorganize our corporate organization and we reorganize our site organization. So in the site level, we have identified 5 different job families that will take care of everything. Same. And on the corporate level, we have different. And also we have put in place the governance. So who is responsible for what, who is accountable for what, you know. I think we can spend a long time if you want, so we can share with you some slides about that. Yeah.
And we are putting in place maintenance and reliability services and also engineering and automation. But yes, we are standardized all the function, all the organization, and it is actually our major job.